Sorry about the loss, fellas. But this is Alan from the Alford Sports Talk Show. I just wanted to ask, Coach and also Bryce, it seemed like there was definitely a hesitation, I would say, to run the ball. Was there anything hampering you as far as ankle or injury in any sort?
It felt okay. I mean, when I had to run the ball, I ran the ball. I think, going into the game, you always want to be smart, pick your ops. But kind of same thing as last week too. I ran the ball, when you have to, but just being smart about it. Obviously, it hurts a little bit, but I think when we had to get out there and run, I felt like it did its job, and it held up pretty good.
We're going to go to the left, second row.
Mike, obviously disappointing, but
Can I stop you for 1 second? Can I stop you for 1 second? First, I'd just like to congratulate, all right? I'd like to congratulate Shannon Harris, Coach of the Year, and the DC Defenders on their victory. All right, they deserve that. They obviously won this football game hands down. So I think that needs to be said first because they did an outstanding job. So now, question.
like they took advantage of some long bombs all night. I don't want to say why did that happen, but
No, that's the question. Look at we broke some fundamental coverages. We just we didn't play very good assignment football. It was pretty. If you have a half of the field, you need to be deep and not let it get behind you. And we did it several times today. We let them get behind us when we had deep zones as responsibilities, and that's why that happened. We've had that problem for the last few weeks. As a matter of fact, last week we got it nipped in the bud a little bit against Birmingham the second half, but the weeks prior to that we were doing the same thing. We were giving up a lot of explosive passes, and that's something that we need to rectify in the offseason. When we come back next year, do a much better job, because it hasn't been that way the last 3 years, but this year it like I said, second half of the season we didn't do a very good job, so that needs to be fixed. But basically that we weren't playing a lot of different things, but what we were playing, we weren't executing very well.
Second row on the right.
James Larson, Pro Football Newsroom. Coach, obviously a disappointing loss, and as a defensive coach, to give up 580 yards, 190 of those rushing, 390 passing, 6 to 7 in the red zone. I know you already talked about coverage breakdowns. Can you talk a little bit about just the defensive breakdowns in general today?
Like I said, we played some very fundamental things. We did not play well. I could make more out of it than it is, but when you play as poorly as we did, it is what you saw. There's far too many, as a matter of fact, to really kind of narrow down and say there wasn't. That's the unfortunate thing. There was more than just a couple.
Second row, first row left.
Mike Palco from the Bottom Line Podcast. Coach, with the more into the secondary, so with the halftime adjustments, if any, how do you go into halftime with the big half that DC was able to put up, passing and throwing yards? What adjustments, or what do you tell the guys in the locker room at that point, how to get back on track and maybe get some stops to help the offense in the second half?
Well, you always have to identify what you're doing wrong. Is it the player? Is it the scheme? What is it? And we made a couple adjustments both in the scheme and with players, and it didn't seem to bode very well the second half either. So, but like I said, that's it's important that you identify what it is that's causing the errors, and we were more so not playing very well than it was kind of the calls, because I thought he was mixing the calls well, but we couldn't find our way out of it. So it goes. The defense. All of us will take blame for what happened. It just wasn't right.
Left side, second row.
Adrian Nader, Detroit Free Press. Mike, the turnovers are always tough, but championship games, those are all big. That fumble, I went 15-13. Did you notice it sagging your team morale-wise a little bit after that?
If I thought we had picked up our game on the defensive side of the ball, then the turnovers, they were trying to make a play. I know the one interception was just trying to make a play, but again, at the situation it was, if I'm a player and I'm seeing how it's kind of going, I'm trying to make a play too, because we didn't seem to slow the opponent down. And I think that's a natural, personally, that's a natural thing, and that didn't change the game in any way.
First row in center.
Hi, Eric Hall, Detroit News. How do you feel about the way the offense played? Nice first quarter, not as much offense in the middle, couple quarters, but then came back and got those couple 4th and 12s.
If we had played some defense, I think we'd have been in this football game because of the offense. The offense, I think, I can't criticize the offense at all. I really can't. They kept us in the ball game even at the end of the game. We were, coming back. But again, if we had just made a couple more stops on defense, or a couple of stops, because I don't think they punted the entire day. If they did, but they didn't. I don't believe. Anyhow, I thought the offense they gave us a chance to win.
We're going to take a call from Zoom. Question from Zoom.
Oscar? Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oscar.
Coach, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. I don't have a question. Just say thank you for all this season. Gracias. Really, thank you very much, Coach. Keep in touch.
Thank you, Oscar. I appreciate that. Look, the football team we did accomplish a lot of things this year. It's a lot to be proud of. Very disappointing, the loss, and the way we lost made it even more sour, but we accomplished a lot this year. And so there's a lot of things to be proud of. As we go forward and settle down on those things, I think we'll be able to recognize them more so. But right now, obviously, the hurt is with the game we just played and the game we lost, and lost it pretty handily.
We're going to take 2 more questions, one from Zoom and then one from the room.
Michael?
Thanks. Mike Mueller, BCTV Plus. Coach, I was just wondering if you could talk a little bit about a team trying to make a late rally despite the large deficit. And can you speak a little bit to their mindset and mental toughness to not count themselves out despite the lead outlook there at the end?
I didn't catch the second half of the question, but the first was just, I'll talk about the first half. What he was talking about as far as making a run at the end of the game. It gets back to what you were saying about the offense. I thought the offense, gave us a chance in the football game to be in the game or even to win the game. And at the very end, I think we converted 2, if not 3. I know 2 for sure on the 4th and 12s. The offense did a great job of executing those situations. They got those. I was a little bit disappointed our extra point conversions. We weren't as good as we typically are. I think we're best in the league throughout the season. And today we weren't able to get a couple of them. But that wasn't the reason for the loss, because there was more points on that board. We were short many more points than what what a conversion would give you. But anyhow, at the end of the game, it was slow making it happen, but it was happening. But again, if we had just kept them out of the end zone defensively, I think it would have been more realistic for us offensively. But we were executing what you try to do when you're behind by that, and that is score, go for multiple extra points. That wasn't working. But then we came back. I got the 4th and 12, got the ball again, scored again. That was good for us. I thought the offense did a good job of that, but we allowed them to score, as well. And it just kind of set us back each time.
Final question on the right side, second row.
Now, obviously a bitter ending to what was a really successful season for you in this offense. Any final thoughts on just, what the season meant to you in this offense, running the football, throwing the football, and just being part of this group?
Yeah, I think not just offensively, I think the whole team, there's a lot to be proud of for this season. Football is very much a result-based business, so it hurts to lose the way we did today, but it doesn't change what we did as a team every single day at work, showing up, working hard in practice, getting here, getting past Birmingham, which was huge for us. It's a lot to be proud of and a lot to be thankful for. I'm so lucky that I've gotten to play my whole professional football career with the Michigan Panthers. Great coaches, great teammates. It hurts not to finish as champions, but there's a lot to be proud of, and I'm proud of the season we had. Yeah.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Oh, good. Thank you.
God bless.